Hey yo, what's decent? Did you honestly think that a Friday and a Saturday is gonna pass by and you look in your sub box and see scarce activity coming from me? You must be crazy. And speaking of some things that are out of this world, this battle is one to exemplify those kind of traits. So, my opposition leads out with Doug Trio. I haven't seen that as of yet, and I lead up with Aggron, and I'm like, crap, I take quad weak damage, potentially, if Aggron wasn't my Mega Evolution. But I have no choice but to go into my Mega Evolution right there, set up the rocks, and then I'm like, yo, did you see how well Mega Aggron took that first Earthquake? The secondary one was a crit. I lived a crit Earthquake as well as another Earthquake. That is unheard of. Mega Aggron in the house taking all kinds of hits. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my Gojo onto his Greninja. Almost got the Pokemon names confused. I was about to say Greninja myself. He goes out and uses U-turn to get switch priority and whatever I decide to switch out into, which was Gojo. He goes into Trevenant. And I'm like, what can Trevenant do? Can this thing get switcheroo? Why am I always thinking that? But then I saw the leftovers. I was like, okay, maybe he just wants to inflict some residual damage onto me with like the Will-O-Wisp or whatever you have you. That doesn't happen. Well, yeah, that does happen, but not with Will-O-Wisp, instead with Leech Seed. So I'm just going to switch into Arcanine just to scare it out, and I'm trying to goad him into switching right back out into Greninja, and or maybe the Crawdaunt that I did see in the team preview. So I double switch out into my Chestnuts, and the purpose of doing that was so that I can get an early lead off for getting up my layers of spikes. So this is a Chestnut, a non-attacking Chestnut, by the way, with Taunt, Stuff Rock, Taunt, Spikes, I believe Raw, as well as something else I can't think of right now. Leech Seed, there you go. So those are the 4 moves that I have on it, and I'm just going to set up another layer of spikes. And Taunt is so important. Look at that useless Trevenant right now. Can't burn anything, baby. What are you gonna do? Shadow Claw me and get hit by my Rocky Helmet? Halloween was last month, Trevenant. We way over you. We on Thanksgiving now. And he sends out Crawdaunt, which is, I guess, a little bit of an improvement, but I was expecting turkey, not necessarily crab or lobster. Anyway, I set up another layer of spikes, and I'm like, what the hell can Crawdaunt do? And I saw that Aerial Ace, I was like, oh my gosh. You guys should have seen my facial expression. I had like the most astonished look. It was almost like when you're in a fight, and then like you punch somebody so hard and the audience that's watching all goes in unison. Oh, it was just like that, man. I was completely caught off guard by the Aerial Ace. So anyway, in comes Greninja. He's gonna go and use U-turn on my switch into Goodra. I mean, Leo, Goodra hasn't, or rather, I've been playing Goodra in a sense where Goodra has only been able to like take U-turns and or Volt Switch and then like just die. I leave it on Tyrannotron because I was thinking that he will actually take this time, predicting me to switch out to set up rocks. So I'm like, yo, he Dragon Clawed. I'm like, I don't have a Goodra no more. So anyway, he switches out into Duplicate. I was hoping to cast the Doug Trio off guard, but I guess since Rock is weak against Steel types, it would make sense to bring in the Steel type. I guess it's a little bit of an obvious move, but then again, it does a significant chunk to that Dual Blade, so I'm not here complaining. And even though I took a critical hit earlier on, during the second turn of this match with Doug Trio's Earthquake, I'm going to bring in my Aggron again just to sponge the Sacred Sword. Me thinking that I could actually live a secondary one and get off a nice little Earthquake, that does not take place in Dual Blade, remains unscathed by Aggron entirely. And he decides to switch up his bag of tricks, revealing Iron Head against my Chestnut. He takes residual damage from the Rocky Helmet. I respond back with a Raw, and the worst thing I could have done in that case scenario was actually go for the Leech Seed, thinking that he was going to attack, which he did. But what if he went for the Swords Dance? I would have been in complete utter chaos, man, scrambling to deal with that kind of threat. So anyway, in comes Trevenant, takes the Rocky Helmet damage after inflicting Shadow Claw to me thinking that, yo, I'm a Chestnut, baby. They had made that whole Nutcracker Christmas carol because of me, baby. You're not cracking me, but I was sure as hell was wrong. So anyway, in comes my Arcanine just to scare it out, so I'm gonna go for the Willows. I am a support Arcanine. Burn that Clown Crawdaunt, man. Oh my gosh. How inviting is that? A crab on fire? Man, I better look at my fridge and see if I got any food, man, 'cause I'm about to go to Red Lobster. Son, that was corny, oh my god. But anyway, I'm bringing my boy Wobbuffet. From earlier, judging from the damage that he inflicted onto the Chestnut, being that Aerial Ace was quad 4 weak against Chestnut, but at the same time, I am fully defensive, Impish, 252 in HP in defense, so I'm thinking like, there's a little bit too much damage choice. And he reveals that instead of go for the Crunch on the Wobbuffet, which deals super effective damage onto it, he goes for the Waterfall again. So now in comes Greninja, and I'm like, okay, I know he still has Trevenant, so he's trying to goad me to counter, which I was so tempted to do so, because I know U-turn was coming. Watch, Trevenant is about to come in, I bet you. See, there you go, man, You can't pull the wool over my eyes, son. I see what you're doing. So I'm gonna go and use Encore. Just for the off chance. You might have gone for the Dark Pulse or the Hydro Pump. You never know. So he goes for the Shadow Claw. I can't counter this clown because he's part Ghost. So I have to go for the Destiny Bond, and I completely forget momentarily that Ghost types are immune to trap abilities and trapping moves. I think trapping moves as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen that in person, throughout experience, but I think the descriptive also said trapping moves as well, like Pursuit and things like that. So I'll go for and use Destiny Bond, and I take down the Greninja with me. So that's great. That's actually the only psychic move, if you don't have I guess Mind Read or a Miracle Eye, that will inflict some kind of effect on Greninja. So that was great. That was actually able to take it down. In comes Tyranitar, and oh well, did I say I was a support Arcanine? I really said that? Oh, I'm sorry for lying. Huh. I guess I'm offensive. I don't know. Things change. So I was able to take out that Tyranitar with a close combat. In comes their trio trying to trap me, man. I have Arcanine as well as Magnezone left over. It's not happening, man. I'm telling you. Completely offensive. Adamant 252 in attack and 252 in speed. Justified. I am not playing around. So that was a whole facade that I did with the whole Will-O-Wisp leftovers thing. In spite of me having Will-O-Wisp, I do not have an offensive fire type attack. Will-O-Wisp is meant for common switches, let's say a Zumaro or maybe Nervon or something like that. Things that will commonly switch onto Arcanine. What would you switch onto Arcanine? And then imagine that Pokemon getting burned on the switching. Exactly. So anyway, I switched right out into my Magnezone just to prepare for the Doublade, because I momentarily forget how much HP Doublade had. So I kind of wanted to bring in the Magnezone so that I can inflict and lock myself onto Thunderbolt, being I'm Choice Guard. See, I didn't do that earlier because I was so afraid of Magnezone not outspeeding the Dugtrio despite my Magnezone being Choice Scarf. I don't even know why I have a Choice Scarf Magnezone. Hey, whatever. It's working now. I'm able to take out the Doublade, and that was good game. Definitely had a lot of fun. Shadow Sneak is not going to be enough. It's not going to cut it, even if you were Aegis Slash. Peace. What you doing?